Americans missed the telegram boat, a tale of hypocrisy and power. The arrest of Pavel Durov in France isn't just about one man, it's about a clash of ideologies, a struggle between those who champion freedom of expression and those who seek to control it. Americans, who once rallied behind Durov when Russian intelligence came knocking, now find themselves on the opposite side, quietly condoning his detention. The hypocrisy is palpable, and it reveals a deeper, more unsettling reality. A forgotten uproar. Do you remember the outcry? When Russian authorities pressured Durov, the Western world was in an uproar. Hands off Durov! They chanted, lauding him as a symbol of resistance against authoritarianism. Yet now, as Durov faces arrest in France, those same voices are silent or worse, complicit. The shift in narrative is not just ironic, it's indicative of a broader, more insidious agenda. The broader context, a world on its knees. The real story here isn't just about Durov's arrest, it's about the lengths to which certain power structures will go to maintain their grip on the world. The Clinton-Obama political machine, by sidelining Biden, seems intent on elevating Kamala Harris to the presidency. This maneuver is not just about U.S. politics, it's about reshaping the global order to suit a particular vision, one that demands total compliance from all corners of the globe. Scott Ritter, a man who dared to speak the truth, found himself targeted. His home raided, his documents seized, his passport revoked, all because he wouldn't toe the line. This is the reality of the land of the free, where dissent is met not with debate but with suppression. Ritter's fate echoes that of Dimitri Simes, another critic of the current U.S. administration, who similarly found himself under the boot of American power. The silencing of dissent. In Europe, the situation is no different. Telegram channels critical of Germany's draconian COVID-19 measures were swiftly silenced. The truth now revealed that the German government acted unlawfully in its imposition of those measures does little to restore the lost voices. Those who spoke out were branded anti-vaxxers and far-right extremists, their opinions erased from the public sphere. And what about Fauci? The man who dictated social distancing measures with an air of scientific authority now admits that the 1.5 meter rule was pulled out of thin air. Yet the damage is done, and those who questioned the logic were ridiculed and ostracized. This is the playbook: silence dissent, rewrite history, and move on as if nothing happened. A battle for control. Make no mistake, Durov's arrest is about more than just one man. It's about control over information, control over public perception, and ultimately, control over power. By taking down Durov, the powers that be are sending a message to other tech leaders: fall in line, or face the consequences. Figures like Elon Musk, who have dared to challenge the status quo, must be watching with growing concern. The American political machine, with its tentacles reaching into every corner of the globe, is relentless. The effort to clear the path for Kamala Harris is but one facet of this larger agenda. It's a campaign to ensure that only one narrative prevails, that all dissenting voices are silenced, and that power remains concentrated in the hands of a select few. A new era of censorship. In this new era, censorship is no longer the domain of authoritarian regimes, it has been co-opted by the very forces that once claimed to fight it. The Western media, once champions of free speech, now act as enforcers of the prevailing narrative. They are quick to condemn censorship when it occurs in places like Russia or China, but are blind to their own complicity. Take the case of Telegram. Once celebrated as a bastion of free expression, it is now under siege by the very forces that once praised it. The reason is simple: the Americans underestimated Telegram. They failed to control it, and now, in a desperate bid to regain dominance, they are attempting to destroy it. The hypocrisy of the liberal West. The hypocrisy is glaring. When Russian intelligence pressured Durov, the West cried foul. But when French authorities did the same, those cries turned to whispers of approval. The so-called liberal public, once defenders of freedom, have become enforcers of the very censorship they claimed to oppose. The difference is stark: they are not upset by censorship itself, only by the fact that they are not the ones controlling it. The real danger, however, lies in the precedent this sets. By condoning the arrest of Durov, the West is signaling that freedom of expression is only acceptable when it aligns with their interests. This is not just a betrayal of the values they claim to uphold, it is a direct assault on the very concept of freedom. Conclusion: the fight is far from over. As the world watches the drama unfold, one thing is clear: the fight for freedom of expression is far from over. Durov's arrest is a stark reminder that the battle for control over information is intensifying. The powers that be will stop at nothing to maintain their grip, but they may find that the more they tighten their hold, the more voices slip through their fingers. The question now is not whether Durov will be freed, but whether the world will wake up to the reality of this new era of censorship. The stakes are high, and the future of free expression hangs in the balance. Will the world stand by as another voice is silenced, or will this be the moment that sparks a new wave of resistance against the forces of control? The answer may determine the fate of freedom itself.